Hello and welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. It is very much starting to feel like spring outside. We're starting to get those warmer days around 70 to 80 degrees. Snow has really started to turn into rain, at least down here in the Front Range. So I thought it'd be nice today to take us through a little bit of a spring cleaning series here with my Kia EV6. This is my daily driver and man, it needs some serious love. The winter was pretty harsh on cars on the outside, but on the inside, this is really my dog carrier. And as you can see, lots of dog hair everywhere, nose prints all over the glass, crumbs everywhere. This thing has just not gotten the love. And that's the reality of being a professional detailer is sometimes your projects, your cars get kind of pushed to the back burner so we can get customer cars done. So in today's video, we're gonna focus on cleaning up the interior. We're gonna go through the whole process, talk about all the different products we use. And then in the next video, we're gonna focus on the outside of this car, how we really get all that winter dirt and grime off, options for protection and different washing techniques coming up in the spring and summertime. So stay tuned, but let's get this thing spring cleaned. Before we get started here, guys, I want to run you through the car and show you my embarrassment. I am very embarrassed to make this video because I can't believe how nasty this car has actually gotten. This is my daily driver, my dog hauler. Use this car almost every single day. Have the dogs in and out of this thing all the time. And man, it is really starting to show how disgusting this car has gotten. Now, a lot of you, if you watch this channel and you know how OCD I am, spending 40, 50, 60 hours on details, you would not expect my personal cars to look like this. Reality is though, working a full-time, running a full-time business here, doing YouTube, spending time with the dogs, with friends, with family. Reality is your stuff gets put to the back burner and it's not always the cleanest thing ever. So as you can see here up front, our all-weather mats looking pretty disgusting. I'm actually going to be swapping these out for the carpet mats for spring, summer, and fall. I really don't love all-weather mats here. They always look dirty to me. Immediately you clean them, jump in the car, you see all the footprints and marks all over it. Really don't love that. So we're going to be getting all of this vacuumed up. The seats are looking okay here on the front driver's seat. Can see a little bit of shininess coming through. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm not sure. The seat's just looking dirty. The center console's looking pretty gross. Dog hair, crumbs everywhere. Even up here, you can see all the fingerprints over there, all of these kind of stains. Those are actually from my boy Oliver, who's constantly in this car, and he always likes to bark at people and breathe heavily and do his thing when I leave him in the car for a few minutes, running into a store to grab food, whatever it may be. So this is a dog car. It needs some love. You can see over here on the windows, we've got nose prints everywhere. We've got dog boogers. We've got pretty nastiness all over the place. Now the back seat here is where the dogs normally are. As you can see, I don't put any covers over the back seats, and I've been leaving the seats up for quite a bit now, but that means that the seats are full of dirty paw prints, things like that. I am noticing these seats are not wearing the best back here, just with how the dogs sit back here. You can see it's starting to wrinkle a little bit. Doesn't look great in all honesty, but I have cleaned this interior up before quite a few times, and I'll know this actually cleans up extremely easy, but this wear is pretty interesting on here. On the back window, you can see all of the dog slobber and nose prints all over the windows. Gotta love dogs, but holy smokes, do they make your life dirty, messy, full of dog hair. You can see dog hair just absolutely everywhere. That's the fun of having golden retrievers. But yeah, it is what it is. On the back of the seat here, you can see all the plastics have all the stainings from the dog on here. Coming over to the passenger side, I think it's pretty much going to be more of the same. Yep. Nose prints all over this, nose prints and drool and all of that fun stuff all over here. Some dirt, grime, dog hair, all of that fun stuff. So it's going to be a pretty in-depth clean today. And I think spring is always really one of the best times to do this because you have all the winter, every time you get in and out of the car in the winter, you're just getting, dirty boots, mud, salt, mag chloride, whatever it is all over. It can get pretty nasty. So one of the things I want to do in today's video is not only show you how to do this, not only what products and tools we're going to be using, but the process I do, because I don't think a lot of people quite would know where to start with this car. Do you start with vacuuming? Do you start with wiping down the seats, wiping down the screens? Do you start with the windows? We're going to go through all of that. So let's get started really getting this EV6 dialed in. So one of the first things I do anytime I start an interior detail is really get kind of the big trash things. So I'll grab, paper straws like this, areas like this, check in all of the door pockets, make sure all the stuff that needs to be out of here and is not going to easily be vacuumed up or clog your vacuum is out of there. So spend a few seconds there going through that. Next, what I actually like to do is come in and do a quick vacuum. The reason being for that, coming in and doing that, you're going to get a lot of the dirt and crumbs out of here. So you're not trying to wipe those up. You're also, anytime you're in and out of the car while cleaning it, it's not getting all over you, all over the clothes. If you have dogs, it's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. Now, what I also do during that is I'll go through, quickly vacuum up the mats, pull those out, and of course do underneath that. I don't think I've ever actually shown this corner on the channel, but this is where my vacuum is actually housed. We also have our Autel charger here. It's right next to the detail bay here, and this is normally where I park my Model 3 Performance or whatever other car I'm driving. So the EV6 is sometimes here. I've had a few questions what garage vacuum I actually use. Now, I am not a fan of those big shop vacs that kind of roll around the ground here. They've got the big thick hose. I like something a lot cleaner like this, hangs up on the wall, can have a hose reel. So this is the Vacuum-Aid Garage Vac Pro. Genuinely, probably the best garage vac in the market. It's not cheap. I think they're about $400 to $450, depending on if you get the 50-foot version or the 30-foot hose version. I'm not exactly sure. Now, it doesn't come with the wall mount, had to buy that separate, but I'll leave these in the link in the description below if you're wanting to pick up one of these, because it's truly incredible. My favorite vacuum I've ever had. I actually had one from Hoover before that was called the GUV, and it lasted for about 8 years. I didn't realize how low on power that thing was until I went to this thing. This is just unbelievable suction, getting all the dog hair. I mean, of course, there's a few times you've got to get a brush in there, but man, this thing absolutely rips. So let's get this thing pulled out and start vacuuming the EV6. Well, I spent just about 10 minutes here vacuuming, and look how nice this thing looks now. So this is one of the nice benefits of having those all-weather mats, is that your carpets aren't gonna get completely destroyed and completely stained. Also, I need to give a shout out to Kia because their carpet works very well with golden retriever hair. I did not have to use either of these removal tools. I also think it helps having that GarageVac Pro from Vacuum-Aid. That thing just absolutely rips and picks up all the dog hair quickly, all those little crumbs and rocks and everything in there. So every single time I start a detail, I always go through, pick up the big trash, go in and do my first initial vacuum. Now I will always leave the vacuum out because I'm gonna come back after we've been in and out of the car. That'll kind of be one of our last steps we do. Now here you can see on the seats how nasty this is looking, so I think we'll get to that next. Now, if you do have persistent dog hair, I'm assuming a lot of you out there have dogs that you take in your car quite often. These are two great tools. So this is an Anolon pet hair removal tool. You have this kind of rubberized feel on it. You have different sizes in here. I find the medium works best for my dogs and the carpets that we have in our cars. Essentially, if you have dog hair that's not getting picked up by the vacuum, come in here, can brush this on here and you'll get a little pile picked up there, boom, vacuum it up. Fur Cobra is also great. I like the versatility of this tool and kind of the ergonomics, if you will, of it. Made a review on all the best pet hair removal tools. This one was actually the best. So next steps now, as you guys saw, I pulled out all of the mats. You could do that. There's actually one of the little mess makers over there. That's Mr. Oliver. So I put the mats over there. Those will get ready to cleaned up. I'll show you how to do that. But one of the next steps I want to do here is now start focusing actually on the glass. And this is a thing if you have dogs, if your windows are disgusting. Like if you look at this back glass, this is just disgusting. So what I'll do now is I'll come in, I'll quickly hit the windows with the first initial cleaning stage. Then I'm gonna start on the door panels. Then I'm gonna start on areas like the seats, all of the plastics in the vehicle. So let's show you how to do that. First, starting with the glass. So for our glass here, we're just doing a quick stage to get the big grime off of this. You'll see this kind of throughout this interior detail process. We go in stages instead of trying to tackle one complete area, then coming down to the next, then having some smears and splatters and things like that. It'll all make sense anyways. So we're going to be using Koch Chemie glass cleaner as well as a fresh, clean Costco yellow microfiber here. These are great towels to just be able to go in there, quickly hit the grime. You don't want to put nice glass towels on all of this dog slobber here. So I'm just going to come in, wipe this down. There's a few kind of persistent spots. Pretty darn nasty. I don't really care here about how much product I'm using. I'm trying to break down that grime that's actually on the window. Now, if you're struggling with your glass and have kind of off-gassing haze or something like that, I have two videos on the channel. I'll leave them linked in the description below if you need to go through and do a more intensive process on this. But after you do that, this is how you maintain it. So for this, just getting that initial big dog Picasso prints, as we call them, on here. Can see some on the outside. Again, next video we'll talk about the exterior. But quickly, I go through, just do all the glass. I'm not trying to get it perfect, just trying to get that big initial buildup of dirt and grime off. Next, moving on to cleaning everything in the interior, including our seats, center console areas, steering wheels, dashboards, door cards, all the door sill plastics. Pretty much everything is going to be cleaned with this. Now, for this process, what I would recommend grabbing is P&S Express Interior Cleaner. I have tested and tested many different interior cleaners on the market. There is nothing that really stands up to this. This is extremely cost effective, heavily dilutable, as well as one of the best cleaners and most effective cleaners in the market. Smells great, doesn't leave any residue behind. It is truly my absolute favorite. So always love this stuff. Recommendation, buy it in a gallon. You're gonna go through quite a bit of it, but you can also dilute it. So the nice thing is, depending on how dirty your interior is, you can bump up or bump down the dilution ratio. Now, normally in an interior like this, what I would do is 50% water, 50% product there. So again, by gallon, so that way you can actually dilute it. You can use this stuff 1 to 5, you can use it straight, kind of everywhere in between to get that perfect level of clean. And again, doesn't leave anything behind, smells great. Next, we move on to our towels we're gonna use to wipe this product up. Again, like to go back to those Costco microfibers. The reason I use cheap interior towels is interiors are disgusting. Think about all the sweat that's on your steering wheel, all the dirt and grime that were all over the back seat from the dogs. I don't really want to put those in the washing machine where my coating towels, polishing towels, whatever it may be, are gonna go in there, nor do I wanna use these towels on another customer's car. So I personally buy these in bulk from Costco, single use them on an interior and toss them. I personally think that's the most hygienic way, saves you on laundry. Yes, of course, it is a little bit expensive to do. If you're one of those that is really trying to save cost, of course, you're more than welcome to go wash these. I personally just don't like doing it. So in conjunction with P&S Express Interior Cleaner, we want some brushes. And I'll tell you, I've tested so many brushes for interiors, wheels, tires, whatever it may be. There is nothing better than Detail Factory. And these are a multitude of different brushes that I personally really like to use for interiors. So first off, let's start here with this very, very tiny little guy. So this is like a boar's hair. It's very, very small. You're not going to be doing your entire seat with this. It would take a century. What this is great for is getting into areas like this. Now they also sell this one in more of a soft bristle like this. Now I know a lot of you, if you watch any detailers out there, they love using this brush for areas like the door card here. This is really not meant to clean heavily. What we actually like to use these brushes for is to actually agitate the dirt under there. This will do a little bit, but what this is really meant to do is more areas like this where you have some more plastics. You can go in there, maybe something a little bit more gentler. But if we're going into the seats, I want a little bit more power. So I'll grab, again, a bigger size of this little guy. They come in 2 different lengths. I really like this short one. The big one's great as well. I just find there's a lot of areas that I like having kind of a more stubby brush. For example, here, if I want to get the side of here, having that big one, of course, you're going to be off into here, and that's going to minimize the amount of area you can actually clean. So I like having both sizes for both different purposes. Again, these will all be in the link in the description below. Next, though, is this. And this is probably the best tool I've ever used for interiors. So this is their interior detail brush here. You can see it's a little soft, but it's more kind of on that hard side. And this is amazing for deep cleaning seats because you can really scrub it. So you're getting a lot more agitation work while you're actually cleaning. Now, in the case of interiors, there are really 2 ways you can do this. You can grab basically your tools as is, spray the seat down, go in, agitate, wipe it up with a microfiber towel, and you're good to go. Now, in the case of maybe your interior is really nasty, really bad, maybe on the line of these back seats back here, what I would probably recommend doing, grab a towel, grab your solution here, spray it down, wipe it. Again, getting that big initial grime off. Same thing we were talking about here on the glass, just getting that big initial layer off. Then when you go back in, clean and agitate, you're getting a more effective, deeper clean. But I think in this case, we're probably okay to use the brushes. So let's jump into getting the seats cleaned. So in terms of places to start, seats may actually not be the first place I would start. I would probably start with areas like our dashboard, maybe even our steering wheel, but let's here focus on the actual seats. So I'm gonna grab my 50/50 solution. I'm gonna spray these down. Now the keen viewer will notice we do have perforated seats here, and that's really not a problem. You can get them pretty wet. You don't wanna over soak them though. So a nice mist throughout. And you can see this immediately starts kind of frothing that cleaner up. We're just gonna spend some time, come in here and get these seats looking nice. Now, of course, I'll show you some very nice 50/50s on those back seats because, yeah, they're pretty darn nasty, aren't they? But I always like to start kind of top to bottom. Headrest is actually out of frame here. What I'd also recommend doing on little cracks and crevices like this, if you have some pretty serious cleaning that you need to do, is grab a brush like this, come in here and really agitate those. That'll help lift any dirt and grime. Again, remember we went in there and actually vacuumed all of that out. Gonna give this a nice dry down, flip our towel, and boom, our seat is clean. Now, if you need a little bit more cleaning power, if you're noticing I've still got some stains on here, bump up the cleaning power here of your Express Interior Cleaner. Maybe try and use it full strength. You can also, spray again, try and agitate if there's some more persistent stains, but that's basically as easy as it gets for cleaning this. This goes for cup holders, steering wheels, dashboards, seats, door cards, pretty much every material on the inside of your interior. Now, I would say areas like your screen, you don't want to use this. You want to use a glass cleaner, maybe waterless wash. We'll get into that later on. So let me spend some time here. I'll get a few more shots for you guys so you can see the cleaning power of this and show you how much better this cleans up, but it's a pretty straightforward, simple process. So I want to show you how it would clean up a steering wheel here. This is one of the areas that gets really nasty. It picks up a lot of hand oils, especially here in Colorado. A lot of people in the wintertime use lotion on their hands. Where do you think that goes? Boom, right into your steering wheel. This one's starting to show a little bit of grease and grime. So what I'd recommend, pull your steering wheel all the way out. What I'd also recommend here on your gauge cluster is fold a towel over it. That's going to keep any spray from going on in there. Now the screens here are actually pretty hardy, but if you notice some of the older cars that kind of have an instrument cluster with that kind of plexiglass over it, if you get too much solution in there, you can actually start to damage things. You'll get liquid under there. It's not completely sealed. So what I'd recommend doing, again, grab our Express Interior Cleaner here, come in here with one of our little brushes, and we're just going to start working this product in. Now, steering wheels are definitely one of those times where it may take multiple times to actually get nice and clean. You want to make sure you're getting behind in here. It's a little tricky to do sometimes. These have those regen paddles on them. Make sure you're getting this pretty soaked here. You want to let that cleaner get in there. This is an enzymatic cleaner, so it's actually going to break down the dirt and grime. Now, here on the EV6, you'll notice I've got some of these piano black buttons. Now I don't want to come in here and scrub these. We're going to scratch the living heck out of them. So it is okay to basically wipe it with our microfiber towel here, but this is not the best way to clean it. Again, same with screens, any high gloss black areas, we're going to use something like a waterless wash on there. So just want to spend some time working this solution in. If you feel like you need it, which 9 times out of 10 you will, grab this little brush here. Again, this is safe enough that it's not going to scratch anything. This is safe on very high-end leathers, any sort of things like that. And you can really come in here and again agitate it as I'm spraying the other screen in here. So I could probably utilize a second towel, but I really think it'll be quite all right. Make sure you get the stitching underneath here as much as you can, and again behind the steering wheel. Now we're going to go in here with our microfiber and wipe this away. You can already see a little bit of dirt and grime. The steering wheel wasn't too bad, but it's definitely not great. Important tip, make sure you lock it so you're not pushing this thing. And we're just going to keep scrubbing this until we feel like it's pretty darn clean. And I think we did a good job. The steering wheel wasn't terrible for sure. I've seen some steering wheels that are just disgusting. This is an area I would recommend you maybe every month at least wipe down. So what you can always do if your steering wheel isn't disgusting, you don't have the brushes on you, take your Express Interior spray and just come in here and you can just kind of agitate and wipe. So that's kind of one of those intermediate cleanings where this is more of a deep clean on here. So what I'd also do while we're here, after we focused on the steering wheel rim, while that's kind of drying, is get areas like your airbag cover. I know it's crazy, but got dog spit and slobber and all that nastiness on here. Can also get your steering column here. Just come in here with your brushes. This isn't an area you really need to agitate, but while you're doing it, you can definitely do it. So just come in here and wipe. Again, be mindful of these. Don't try and scratch the living heck out of them. It's going to be next to impossible not to scratch them. They're just one of those things. I don't know why OEMs feel like piano black is the best thing to put in interiors, but I guess they feel it is. So that's how we clean up the steering wheel. If you notice a few spots, those will probably dry out. If you notice an area, probably like, you know, 3 and 9 over here that are really nasty, come in there and start scrubbing them a little more. This brush is your friend for steering wheels. This will get off a ton of dirt and grime. And again, if you've cleaned it and needs a little bit more cleaning power, bump up to full strength on this, really give it a good scrub, maybe twice, go in there, clean it. Now, the other thing I'm gonna mention here with our towels, once these start to get built up and gross, swap them out. These are cheap towels. And also, make sure you're not being an animal. People love that I say this. Don't clean your interior like this because you get all sorts of wrinkles. You're basically using one entire towel. If I fold this up like this, boom, I have essentially 8 sides of a towel. So then I can, you know, flip it this way. Boom, I have 2 clean sides here. Flip it inside out. Boom, I have 4 other sides. So make sure you're doing that. Don't waste your towels. Don't be an animal. Use your towels properly. All right, let's keep cleaning. So what do you say we move here to the back lower seat? This is the dirtiest. What do you say we move to the back seat here? Now, the dirtiest areas, all the dirt, dog prints, dog slobber, all the nastiness in here. So I want to start on this. I want to do kind of a little 50-50. I'm not going to go in and tape it up. So I'm going to come in here, agitate with this little brush here. Can see how very nicely this froths up. Again, I would start on the top of the seat, work down, so you're not cleaning this, spraying up here, getting more spray down here. But for the video, totally cool. Then I'm gonna come in here with our heavier duty brush, and this is really gonna get that dirt and grime out. So that should be good. Hope it comes through on camera because that looks like a totally new seat now. Wow. I didn't realize this was more of a white beige. This was like starting to look brown and tan. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me bring you in for a little bit closer shot. And there you can see a really nice 50-50, all those dog prints. You can see how almost greasy that seat looks. Then over here, dull, nice satin finish on it and just clean. And it's really as simple as that. It genuinely takes no time to do interiors if you use the proper cleaners and if you maintain them. Now, I wouldn't say this interior is terrible. I've definitely detailed some way worse interiors, but this is by no means clean. This is looking clean now. What I really like about that cleaner though, again, look at the sheen on the front of that seat there. And as I come back here, see how it just doles out? It's a lot brighter, a lot cleaner. It's a really simple, straightforward process. That took us, I don't know, 20 seconds to do that. Takes no time at all. So what I would probably do here when I'm cleaning up an interior is start in one section, work your way around the car. So if it were me, normally here's what I do. So I normally start on the steering wheel. That way it can sit in the seat, make sure I'm getting a good clean. I would clean the dashboard. Then I would probably start on areas like the center console, come to the seats, then I would do the door cards, and I would leave this till last. So I would kind of go in sections, maybe start on the front driver's seat, move to the passenger, then move to the back seat, kind of in that order. And I always work kind of top down. Of course, your higher areas are going to be cleaner than your bottom areas. Now, down here, of course, you don't want to get all that dirt in there, then go scrub your steering wheel, right? So we want to clean that first, then come back to this. So I'm going to spend a few more minutes here going through the entire interior, getting this cleaned up. Again, safe to use on leather, vinyl, vegan leather, plastics, door cards like this, pretty much anything in your interior other than screens and really high piano gloss black plastic. I don't know why that word was so hard. You can definitely use it on trim like this just to get a good clean on it. I'll definitely come back through at the end and get all of our bright parts. That's what I really call them. So that's areas like this, any of our screens, piano black areas like that. But let's spend some time, clean this up. Then we'll keep moving on here. We are almost pretty much done with the interior. I know it doesn't look like it, but this will probably take, I don't know, 30 minutes to do the whole interior. And then we'll focus on the glass. We'll focus on all of the other piano black areas. We'll get our mats cleaned and we'll have a perfectly fresh clean interior. So we are rounding third now here on finishing up our interior cleaning. One area I want to talk about is pedals. This is an area that can be a little scary, to say the least, because you want to ensure that we're not leaving a single thing behind. You don't want this to be slick. You don't want to put any sort of, silicone cleaners on there or anything on there after the fact that's gonna, turn it deep and dark and black and look nice, because you don't want to add slickness to this. So we're gonna work here on this third brake pedal. I just wanted to make a note of this. Never really talked about it before, but just using, again, our interior cleaner here. You absolutely do not want to use a vinyl, rubber, plastic cleaner on here that's going to add any sort of slip to it, nor do you want to use any sort of trim restorer that's going to add some sort of slickness to there as well. So this is essentially how I clean pedals. Some are more complicated than others. So you can see in here, some of them, it's a little hard to get all this completely dry, but if you do your best here, it should look something like that. So that'll dry. Now, a question I know a lot of people are going to have is this hair is persistent here. With this cleaner, you'll notice in areas like this, along with vents and buttons and other things, you don't have to get it completely dry. It'll naturally go away and just look completely fresh and even like this. So if you do leave it in some cracks and crevices, totally cool to do that. So here's how you clean third brake pedal, the rest of your pedals. And yeah, I think we're getting pretty close here. I'm going to clean up the other two pedals. Then we'll start talking about screens, the more gentle areas in the car. Finish it up with some windows and we'll be fully clean. I want to focus on the sensitive areas like the screens up here and down here, as well as these vents. As you can see, piano black all the way around. We want to ensure that we're not inducing a ton of scratches into those. So what I've grabbed over here, this is from the Rag Company. This is the Eagle Edgeless 350, I believe it is. Now I color coordinate all my towels. So all my interior towels that I'm going to use for that are yellow in here. And then for solution, or cleaning solution in this dilute bottle is 50% Adams waterless wash, as well as 50% of that Koch Chemie glass cleaner. Now this is great to use on screens like this that have a lot of fingerprints on it. You want to break down those oils a little bit. Now, biggest recommendation here, never spray your screens. I've seen this all the time with people getting tint done. Maybe you're getting your windshield done here. The tinter doesn't put anything over it. They're just saturating this. You can actually ruin these screens. And believe me, they are not cheap to actually replace. So anything in here, you just want to be gentle with. You don't want to scrub. You just want a light, gentle clean. So that's why we're using a little bit nicer towel. So I'm going to spray a little on here, and I'm just going to come in and wipe all of this away. Now this is one of, I guess, kind of the last steps we're going to be doing here. We just want to flip this over again, as always, keeping this folded into quarters. We have a wet side, a dry side, and then we have basically 4 other sections of that as we flip this throughout. So I'm just going to come in here. I really like this towel because it's a little bit on the fluffy side. So it's going to help pick up some of that dirt and dust and anything else that's in areas like these vents in here. And it's going to leave a nice streak-free shine. So I really like using the glass cleaner in here because a lot of this, yet again, fingerprints, things like that, a little bit more oily. You're going to have a better chance in picking all those up. Now, waterless wash alone does great, but when the car needs a little bit more clean on it, you'll probably want a little bit more glass cleaner in there as well. So I'm just going to spend some time clean all this up. This is also great for areas like this that are kind of like this satin aluminum type look on the door handles. This car has it as well. So I'll just grab some of this after I've done my screens first, come in here, wipe all the center console, again, come in and flip. You'll see it just gives a nice streak-free shine. We've also got some piano black areas in here that we want to just be mindful of. So this is a great way to do that. Same thing that goes here on the steering wheel, little corners in here. Just going to gently wipe this and clean it. Again, safe to use on piano black, any sort of screens, any sort of brushed aluminum, anything like that. And again, really like this towel because it's fluffy enough. It's not too fluffy. So the 500 that I would use for something like polishing or my second coating removal towel is a little too thick. This is great for getting into vents. So you can just create a little corner like this and you're kind of using it like a little bit of a duster, especially once you get some moisture on there. It's going to really pick that up, soak it up. So last step here is the glass. And this is really the thing I leave always to the last. The reason being is you're going to get naturally some cleaner up there when you're spraying it, when you're agitating it with the brush. You may accidentally spray something somewhere. So I always leave the glass till absolutely last. Now here again, we're going to be using our same dilute bottle. So this is 50% waterless wash, 50% Koch Chemie glass cleaner there. Now, again, if you do have some sort of off-gassing haze, I'll leave the video and the link in the description below to go in and super clean your window. It'll very much help. This is really more of our maintenance clean. So again, just from my car here, because we had so much dog slobber and things all over the windows, I just wanted to quickly cut all that with the glass cleaner. Now, the reason I put waterless wash in here is it leaves a little bit of slickness behind. I really do not like glass that is tacky because it attracts more lint. It feels more annoying to wipe and it's really frustrating. So I like a glass that feels very slick, very smooth to the touch and easy to kind of maintain. The waterless wash is also going to help the buildup of basically more off-gassing coming from, more and more. So you're getting a little clean in there as well as leaving a little bit of slickness behind. I found it's the perfect solution. Now for a glass cleaning towel, you'll see this big bad boy. This is the Rag Company FTW for the windows, also for the wind, because it is the best glass towel out there, truly the best one out there. So what I like to do here, we'll clean up the windshield, is I'm going to start from the passenger side. I'm going to move the seat pretty much as far forward as I can. Reason being is I want to be able to get all the way down here. So I like to start on the passenger side and then move over to the driver's side. It is the most awkward thing to film cleaning windows. It's not fun. I still hate it to this day. I've been detailing for 11 plus years professionally. Glass is still my least favorite thing to do. So what I do on here, grab my dilute, shake it up, one spray on there, and one mist on the glass. Now you may get some over here, so you can come in, quickly wipe that. That's totally fine to do because we're using the same cleaner there. This isn't gonna scratch anything. So I like to start border my edges. And what I really like to do is get that corner way down there at the edge of the glass. So I get my corners and then I fill in. Now, one tip and technique for cleaning glass that you guys are absolutely going to love, try and work in one way. So on glass on the inside, I'm trying to go this way. Glass on the outside, I'm going to clean the other way. So if I do see a smear, boom, I know exactly it's either inside or outside. So I've cleaned with my wet side, coming back to my dry side, going to get that edge way down there and just pick up any streaks, and that's it. Glass is super easy to clean with this solution, especially if you go in there beforehand and do the brilliant glaze to get all that off-gassing off. Leaves the glass perfectly nice. So you can even hit areas up here where we have some fingerprints on the mirror. Boom, it's quite literally that quick. So my recommendation to do the driver's side here depends on the car. A lot of the time I'll come actually from the passenger side instead of trying to reach over the steering wheel. It can be a little bit cumbersome. So what I would do here, spray this, and then gonna hoist ourselves up here. Gonna get all the way down. Just gonna wipe, flip, hit our edges one more time. And that is a perfectly clean windshield. So next I'll move around the side windows, hit those quickly. I'll give the car one last vacuum just because of getting in and out of it here. Naturally gonna have some lint, fuzz, and of course, in my case, dog hair. So I'm gonna quickly vacuum those up. I'll throw on the carpet mats and we'll finish up by cleaning our rubber all-season floor mats. One of the last things here I want to talk about is how to do mats. Now you'll notice there in the middle, I actually have cup holders and things like that, the little rubber bits around the car that I also cleaned during this time. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. Now, as you can see, the driver's side floor mat on the left is quite saturated. So what I'd probably recommend doing is grabbing a spray bottle like this. I normally fill this up about 50-50 or even full strength with something like Simple Green, a great all-purpose cleaner. And I'm gonna spray this entire thing down until it looks wet. Now, what you can also do with this is you can give it a quick pressure wash first, but I really want this to kind of break down that dirt and give me basically less elbow grease, elbow power, whatever the heck the term is, to actually go in there and scrub it. So I'm going to spray all of this down. What you can also do, let this sit, rinse it, re-applicate the cleaner on here, go in there and scrub it and pressure wash it off. If you don't have a pressure washer at home, you can absolutely do this with a garden hose. Now, the brush I like to agitate with is actually a tire brush, i.e. this is rubber as well as your tires are. So very simple to clean, easy to do here. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes here. Then we'll come in, pressure wash it, then we'll get to scrubbing, rinse them off and let them dry. So we've let this sit here for just a few minutes, let it dwell. We're gonna give it a first initial rinse because you don't wanna be scrubbing all that dirt and grime directly back into the mat. So let's rinse it out first. So as you can see, got a lot of dirt and grime off of this. Pretty darn nasty. So what I'll do now here on this passenger one, re-spray this down. I'm gonna spray our little applicator brush. We're gonna go in and scrub, and you're noticing it's not just deep brown right now. That's because we got a lot of that dirt out. We're not just scrubbing dirt into more dirt, making this thing harder to clean. So now that we've got those scrubbed down, let's come in, give them their final rinse. Then we'll let these air dry. If you're putting these back in your car, please make sure they're fully dry. Please do not put any dressings on your floor mats. Same thing goes with your brake pedals, gas pedal, throttle pedal, whatever, clutch pedal. If you put anything on here, it's going to have the chance to go on your pedals as well. In an emergency, that may be the case of you slamming into the car because you decided to put shiny crap on your floor mats and pedals, or being safe. So let's not do that. So normally what I'll do here after I've rinsed these, basically grab these bad boys, shake them out, let them air dry. Now my last steps would be to grab that same Simple Green, a nice microfiber towel, just quickly wipe these down, make sure you got all the little stains and streaks and anything out of them, and they should be good to go back. So let's wrap this video up. And here we are finished up with the EV6. It looks like a brand new car now. Holy smokes. So much better. And I can tell you, honestly, this really, unless you're filming like I am, doesn't take too long. Realistically, this takes me about an hour to do the entire car. All the glass, all the seats, all the plastics, and something like the EV6. I mean, you can see the back of the seats now. They actually look somewhat clean. Actually, they look really clean. The only thing, again, really not happy with is kind of how that vinyl is basically shrinking and stretching in certain areas. That really doesn't look that good. So that's a little bit sad. But as you can see, glass dialed in now, except for the outside. All of the door panels looking good. Dog hair free, slobber free, and honestly, a pretty straightforward, simple process. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it'll encourage you to do a nice deep spring clean on your vehicle. Again, all of the products will be in the link in the description below. The process, you can really kind of, work what works best for you. I really like my process. It's something I've kind of honed over the past 10, 11 years of professional detailing, starting with a big vacuum firsthand, or picking up all the big trash firsthand, vacuuming, then quickly hitting the glass if it's really bad, going in, cleaning areas like seats, center console, steering wheels, dashboards, door cards, all of the plastics. Then lastly, coming back to all the more gentle areas like the screens, as well as buttons or any sort of materials like this. You can see how much cleaner that looks here. Just looks so nice. And dang, I tell you what, having a clean exterior car feels really good, but what feels even better is having the interior look like this. And as you can see, these seats that have not been truly fully maintained after almost 7,000-ish miles on the clock here, they look brand new. No creasing in the seats up here, which I'm surprised to see, especially with how the back ones are looking, but dang, it's looking nice. So stay tuned for the next video where we're going to be talking about how to give us a good fresh clean on the outside. We're going to be talking about areas, how to clean door jambs like this, all the areas that have a lot of mag chloride nastiness in them. Talk about areas like this with water spotting and staining, talking about how to clean wheels. Importantly, how to clean up areas like this, which I'm sure if you've been through the winter, all of your wheel wells look absolutely disgusting. We'll also talk about, how to put a little bit more protection on there, all sorts of fun stuff to come. So thanks so much for watching another out of spec detailing video. Hopefully you guys will get some nice spring cleaning on your vehicle. See you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.